Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and with Overwatch 2 having server issues, account merger problems, and just an overall botched launch, I think now Overwatch 2 is finally fixed. But while Overwatch 2 is still fixing launch bugs that includes heroes being locked for basically everybody this week, there is one thing that a lot of people are going to think is an actual bug when in reality, that's just how it is. And this is where you rank for competitive in Overwatch 2. See, competitive in Overwatch 2, she's a little different. She's a little quirky and not like the other girls, especially like in Overwatch 1, where traditionally you had 5 placement games, and after every single competitive game after those initial 5, you always got a new rank represented by your SR. But now instead of SR, you now have these things called tier divisions, where in Overwatch 1, if you were a rank 21 SR player, you would be considered a gold 4 player. And while we all kind of know that the rank tiers is basically the same as SR, just with a fresh coat of paint, I'm seeing a lot of people confused as to why they got the rank that they are at, why they're ranking so low, and why they're getting placed at bronze 5 when beforehand they were a gold player. And don't worry, Papa Whack is here to fix your boo-boo and make you stop crying, because I know you want to flex on your e-girl in your Discord server, but you can't with the bronze rank, so I'm here to explain everything and tell you how to fix it. So before going into Overwatch 2, a common question a lot of people had was if there was going to be an SR and or an MMR reset, which is two totally different things, but also very much related, where SR is the number that you're ranked at, most commonly known as the ranks like Platinum or Diamond or Masters. This is of course the thing that we always stress out late at night, wondering if we're ever going to be good enough for our family. But the thing that helps us determine what SR we're going to get is with MMR. This is the hidden algorithm that calculates everything that you do within a game. How many eliminations you get, damage you do, how many deaths you have as Sombra, Mercy, Soldier, Diva, and it calculates that based on other players that also play that similar hero at that similar rank and helps decide, okay, are you better or worse than those players that play that hero? And the reason why I explained to you how this works is that it helps paint a picture as to why things can't just automatically change overnight, where in between the release of Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2, which was quite literally 27 hours, you can't become a GM player within that time frame, and on the flip side, you can't become a bronze player. So that's why if you're winning a majority of your first competitive games, or even in some cases win all 7 of your first competitive games, that's why you're not ranking in GM, is because your MMR did not get reset in that 27 hours in between Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2. It's still comparing you to how you were in Overwatch 1, but also to other players at the rank that you're supposed to be at, because, well, that's what you're playing like. You're playing like a gold, or you're playing like a platinum, and you're definitely not playing like a GM player because, again, your MMR did not get reset. So while most people can understand that concept of them not belonging in GM, they're also wondering why they deserve bronze, because that still doesn't explain anything. Like, why am I not deserving a GM, but why am I deserving a bronze when at one point I was a gold player? Well, it's actually just simple. You just gotta get good, kid.
I don't find you funny.
No, that's actually supposed to happen too. And I know that sounds demoralizing, like, what, I'm supposed to rank lower than where I'm supposed to be? And that's why I kind of lied at the beginning, because while SR and MMR were not going to be completely reset, there was going to be a soft reset for not only veteran Overwatch players that have played Overwatch 1 recently, but there was also going to be a much more harder reset, and I use the word reset very loosely, for people that had not played Overwatch for like years. And in terms of people that have played Overwatch 1 in the past year or so, you weren't going to be placed at the rank that you were at in Overwatch 1, and that was intentional because they wanted you, the player, to climb up through the ranks of Overwatch 2, because, and while some people hate on this idea and think that it's not a completely different game, Overwatch 2 is a different game compared to Overwatch 1. It's 5v5, there's new tanks, new supports, new DPS, really just a couple of tanks and 1 DPS and 1 support, but there's also hero reworks and hero changes. So when it comes to playing Overwatch 2, you could be better or worse depending on how you played in Overwatch 1. Same thing with like Doomfist players especially. If you played Doomfist for DPS every single day in Overwatch 1 and got GM, well, how are you going to play with Doomfist as a tank in Overwatch 2? Because he's a totally different hero in a totally different rank with a totally different different role and tasks that he needs to do because of the fact that he now is not only just a tank, but the only tank. So that's why they're intentionally ranking you lower, is because they want to see how you adjust to the changes in Overwatch 2. For Genji mains, it'll be a lot easier because he didn't really change that much. For Doomfist players, it'll be a lot harder because it's a brand new hero basically. But along with that, they also want to incentivize you to play, because if you were just rank at the same rank in Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2, then there's nothing to work towards. But as terms of non-veteran Overwatch players, people that have played Overwatch 1 back in 2017 or even 2016 and has never touched the game since then, I mean, not only is Overwatch 1 completely different from how it was at the beginning of its lifespan, but again, Overwatch 2 is a totally different game compared to 2016 or 2017 Overwatch 1. Like, when you think about it, Symmetra is no longer a support hero. D.Va can no longer infinitely use defense matrix, and there's been countless heroes that have been added to counter your main or just counter you, or for you to counter them, like Sombra and Honor and Hammond and Doom. Like, all these heroes have just completely changed the game. So that's why, if you were originally even a Masters player back in Overwatch 2016, why you're ranking super low, possibly in silver or gold, because, well, you haven't played Overwatch in years, and it's a totally different game on two folds. So while most people can understand that concept, it doesn't feel good to know at one point you could have been ranked in the middle of the pack and now ranked at the complete bottom in like bronze and silver. So how do you fix it so that you can finally get some play in Discord? Well, the first step is to know that you're not the problem and that this is supposed to happen. You're supposed to be ranked a couple of tiers under than where you were in Overwatch 1. And if you're an old school player that hasn't touched Overwatch in quite a long time, to know that, hey, you haven't played Overwatch in a long time. You're not going to be the same player that you were 5 years ago. The next thing to understand is that the more wins that you get at the beginning of the season, or more importantly, the beginning of your career, are the most crucial to sending you through the skill divisions the fastest. See, what would happen in Overwatch 1 was that typically for every win, it would give you 25 SR, but if you were on a fresh new account and you were typically like a diamond player and you somehow placed in like silver or gold on this fresh new account and you continued to play like a diamond player, the game would recognize that and give you so much more SR. It'd give you like 50 SR or 75 SR, in some cases 100 SR, just to shoot you through the ranks, to get you out of the rank that you clearly don't belong in and to get you to the rank that you do belong in. And that's, I think, what's going to happen with these skill divisions, is that at the beginning, it's not only going to intentionally place you low, but it's going to incentivize you to play and to make you feel good about yourself, so that when you see that you're going up in rank, it's going to want you to continue playing more and more. Like, I really wouldn't be surprised that if you were a platinum player in Overwatch 1 and you somehow placed in bronze and you went on a complete run in your next competitive games, like you win 7 out of your next 2, that'll probably give you the silver tier rank, like maybe silver 4 or silver 5 or something like that if you place at bronze 5, because again, you're not a bronze 5 player, but the game is trying to calculate where you really belong, with kind of soft resetting your MMR, but not too much to where everyone just gets reset. Because if MMR was truly reset, then everybody would be placed at bronze 5, including Overwatch League players, which you do not want that, I promise you. But even in some instances, I see some Overwatch League players being placed in bronze, but for most of the time, I still even see League players being placed in like platinum or diamond. And once again, same sort of thing, where they just shoot through the skill divisions, they go through Masters like it's nothing, then they get to GM5, and they quickly find out that they have a harder time getting to GM1, but once again, they will eventually get to GM1 because they're League players, they're the best, and they understand the game way better and faster than us mere peasants. Also because they actually scrim and practice Overwatch 2 because they have to for the job. And the final thing that you can do is just continue to play your main. I mean, that is the hero that you understand the most, and unless they're completely changed like Doomfist or even Mei to an extent, just continue to play who you know best, because Overwatch 2, even though it's quote-unquote a different game, the foundation is still the same. So just play who you used to, and eventually you will get to the rank that you got before in Overwatch 1, because, well, you got to it beforehand. There's no reason why, if you continue to play the same, that you can't get it again. And hopefully this video explained to you why you're intentionally ranking lower and what you can do to help it, because at the end of the day, only you can prevent rank fires or ranking lower. Just get better, kid. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch 2 videos to come, and bye.